episode here of your boy O'Shea. And I'm here with my brother Aaron Farris today, man. We're glad that everybody's here and just checking us out, man. We got a really, really good stream today. And today we want to talk a little bit more about here's why Hollywood don't take black men serious. Some of you guys see the you see the Medea photo image, Tyler Perry, and we all know how black men are portrayed in media and stuff like that. But we really want to talk about it from this brother's perspective. He is a independent black male filmmaker. He's very involved. You guys have seen him very involved here in the manosphere. He's had some productions and things like that. He's going to give his take on it from a black male content creator's point of view, a filmmaker's point of view. You can check out his work. He's the owner and operator of the Malice Film Studio. Instagram is there at Malice Films. But I'm going to let my brother talk about it a little bit more, brother Aaron Farris. What's up, brother?
What's going on, my man? What's happening with you?
Man, listen, thanks, man, for coming on, man. Tell people a little bit about yourself, more so than what I've already said.
Okay, man. Once again, my name is Aaron Farris. I'm an independent filmmaker. I've been in the business ever since like 2001, 2002. I started doing music videos for cats like Ludacris and T.I. Did commercials. I came out with my own movie in 2007 called Cocaine Diaries.
Mm-hmm.
And we did a television show not too long after that. And we just been working, man. We do a lot of work. If you check out the Instagram page, we're working on 2 television shows right now. Hold on one second, O'Shea, my bad.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry about that. We're working on 2 television shows right now. Foodies, another one called The One That Marched for You down here in Atlanta right now. All independent, all black owned and black funded.
All right, man. Well, man, I definitely saw some of your stuff. You do a really good job. Thank you, Terrence B. Good work, O'Shea. Let's talk about this because obviously you do a lot of things with the media, but you're also very big on the black male travel situation. You understand why brothers are traveling.
Yes,
And
definitely.
me and you both know or know of Al Grease.
Right.
He made the documentary Frustrated, but as a black male filmmaker, man, let's talk about some of the struggles or some of the difficulties that you have trying to build a fan base with your content, stuff like that.
Well, a lot of times you see us, we're getting our funding from outside sources. We're the only group of men that don't control our image. So sometimes we got to kind of put on a little extra sauce with the buffoonery to a certain degree to get that funding, to get that deal. So the cool thing about Al Grease is when he came out with Frustrated, man, that kind of revolutionized the game to a certain degree because he self-funded it. And it was talking about a subject matter that was close to a lot of black men as far as the condition of not all, but a lot of women in America today, a lot of sisters today, as far as black relationships. And he gave us a solution. The solution was to date, black women, but date black women in other countries.
Let me ask you this because I talked to Al Grease. I did a pretty much of a good show with him. He was still talking about that even though he made an excellent documentary, it was people was downloading it, uploading it, all on YouTube. Niggas was doing all kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
He kind of he didn't complain, but he kind of felt like he didn't get the support from other black men as he should have for a job well done. Do you feel like as an independent filmmaker that when it comes to black men and you have films for brothers, do you think that brothers are starting to that they support these things, or they kind of don't support these things?
Well, that's a good question, man. I think that brothers are starting to come around, because I see brothers are supporting your platform. So now that we know that we all we got, I see it more of a support situation. You still got to have it, all together and have your stuff crisp and quality for the brothers. But I'm seeing, more of a support for brothers because, before you had to, encompass everybody, especially the sisters. But when you have a subject like Frustrated, that's kind of like speaking some truths on our relationships for real, they kind of back up from that. Now I believe if we start come out with movies and documentaries and media that's geared for not only black men but for the black family, I think
Okay.
we're gonna get more support now. Maybe a few years ago it was a little touchy. Also, you got to think about that. It was like a time, I would say, from like the 2007 to about 2014 where people were changing the way they look at media as well. So if
Hmm.
you was coming out with DVDs, they wasn't really selling the way you would think they would sell because everybody now is streaming on Netflix and they on their
Okay.
phones, on their laptops now. So now that we've all come through that transition, I think that brothers especially will support if you have a good message.
Okay. Let's talk about the impact, because you made a good point about the buffoonery type of, um, as Diners would say, the dog and pony shows. The black filmmakers.
Right,
I
right,
just
right, right.
saw I Got the Hookup too. Have you seen it yet?
Nah, man, I haven't seen it yet, man.
Yeah, it was ghetto as hell, man.
Right.
Like you said, you have to do a little bit of buffoonery to get black support, or it has to
Hmm.
be a little bit more about slavery or something
Hmm.
like that. Um, I guess what I'm trying to ask is, black films, in order to get black support, do they have to be pejorative or negative, or like Tyler Perry has to get on and become a woman and cater to a black female audience? Um, these slave kind of movies, these
Right.
movies that are catered at women. Um, do you think that films can be successful without reaching these two target audiences that a lot of times movies do have some buffoonery dealing with them?
Yes, I do. Now in 2019, I believe it's a brand new day. I believe that black people are tired of seeing, the same old, dressing up with wigs and jumping around. I think we've moved past. A lot of these hoods have been gentrified now. I think we've moved way past that now. I think people want to see things like Black Wall Street and uh, showing black men in a different light, man. Showing black people in a more positive light. We still got to be entertaining, but what the problem was Hollywood was following a formula, right?
Okay.
So the formula was, let's make one slave movie, or let's make one romance movie, let's make one black comedy, let's make one black drama gangster movie a year, and we know all the black people are gonna go see that movie because we don't come out with a lot of black movies,
Right.
So you have a person from a different culture, from a dominant society, telling black people what they think is entertainment. You know what I'm saying? So because of that, black people were just so excited to see themselves on film that they would support these movies that really wasn't our true reality for what I'm saying, for the most part. But now because of the internet, as an independent filmmaker, you can do a lot of your marketing, you can do a lot of your content online now and build your audience up. So when you do have to deal with Hollywood, eventually you will. They already know that you got an audience base there waiting on you.
Okay. Now let's talk about controlling. In your case, you always talk about controlling the black male image.
Right.
In your opinion, as a filmmaker, shout out to Big Duke, man. He says, "Salute O'Shea, great topic. Thank you, my brother, Big Duke. What can and as a filmmaker, and young brother, and stuff like that. How do black men want to see themselves portrayed in the media? What are we looking to see ourselves portrayed as?
We're looking to see ourselves portrayed as the same way that white men are portrayed in media, as superheroes for the most part. A positive view of black men. Black men are great fathers. Black men work
Mm-hmm.
hard. We're just not drug dealers. We're just not, athletes or whatnot. It's nothing, I'm not saying trying to get on that, but I'm just saying they want to see us in different roles. That's why, I'm a big fan of Jordan Peele movies. The last movie came out was Us, and that was really typically about, a traditional black family. So we want to see us in different roles, man. We don't want to see us kissing on other brothers and what I'm saying, all this little monkey stuff, dressing up in wigs, and we want to see us in a positive light, man. But they're not going to show us in a positive light for the most part because they have their method already. They have their agenda-based method. Who they want to promote certain buffoonery to your women and to your children so they can look at you a certain way. You feel me? That's why they do that. So
Let me
it's go ahead.
no, go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
Well, I was just saying we're the only group of men that don't control our own image. And that's so important because we wonder why so many, people are dysfunctional in our communities. Why people look at us. A lot of times we don't really get the respect that we deserve. That's because somebody else is portraying us in the media to our own people.
Right.
And women and children don't look at media and movies the way that we look at it. Men, we're more concrete with it. You know what I'm saying? I can show you a movie right now and you'll walk out that movie theater and not change or sway your opinion about nothing you have going on in your life. But you
Okay.
show that same movie to women and children,
Okay.
they're gonna feel a certain way. They're gonna act a different way because they was influenced by it. They're more able to be molded by what they see and what they hear.
Okay.
Like I think Dr. Umar said something about this. Uh, the media, man, when you combine imagery with sound, it's like the most positive influence that you can really have, man. Especially when you put a story behind it. You know what I'm saying? Like I would say movies like The Color Purple did more damage than it did good. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay. Why do you say that?
Well, because the way they do it, they know that we have a large illegitimate birth rate in our communities. They know a lot of these women are coming out. Well, a lot of these girls are coming up without fathers in the household.
Okay.
So you sit a little girl down in front of the TV, and then she watches Color Purple. Then after Color Purple, she watches Oprah. And after that, she watches City Girls. And after that, she watches Black Girls Rock. So she goes out in the world and she sees that black man almost as an enemy.
Okay.
Instead of a productive counterpart that she needs to build a strong, family to grow throughout society to compete with other races of people. See, everybody other races promoting the family. But because we are underneath a dominant society, they're promoting the BS with us within our communities and everything. So that's what Byron Allen was saying, that man, we got to really start to control what our women and children see coming up.
Shout out to Ill Will. Salute O'Shea. T, what up, brother? Ill Will's out of the NYC. David Cummings, we are the true Hebrew Israelites of the Bible. Us brothers need to repent because of the tens is here. Thank you, brother, for that.
Okay. Them Hebrew Israelites, boy, I tell you.
Yeah, man, they be deep, man. Get the likes up, man. Let me kind of get back to this, brother, controlling your image. Now, I never really thought about it in the way that you put it, but that does make a lot of sense.
Right.
The dominant society, has made black men kind of exist in one cohesive pejorative stereotype, jocks, dumb, excessively violent, short-term thinkers, and stuff like that. Almost to the point where if you are a brother that's not like this, it's unattractive. In the black community, it's almost to the point where if you are not like these negative pejorative stereotypes of black women, like you like way corny. And on the other hand, the brothers are like, I need to stop getting away from you and go somewhere else. But let me talk about black men. Why haven't we, before the last few years, why haven't we been wanting to control our own industries? Creating black male films, creating things, game shows and stuff like that. We have the money to do these things. Why haven't we? Shout out to brother Ann James. Why haven't we been active in trying to, change our own image, to promote our own stuff to our people?
The main reason, man, is really because that they control the door. They control who comes in the door. So if I see 100 black men that want their own television station, I see 100 black men producing their own television shows, and I control the distribution, and I'm a Jewish white guy. Well, I'm going to pick this guy over here. I'm going to pick this one guy over here who doesn't have a positive agenda for or whatnot, and I'm going to bring him through the door. And I say, hey, listen, see, we got a black TV show. We got a black movies coming out through this particular production company. I'm going to close the door on all the other production companies. That's why you pretty much only got like a Tyler Perry, and you got Rainforest Films. You got like maybe 3 to 4 black-owned production companies when you really should have hundreds of black, male production companies. Because I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen right now. Right now, what Hollywood's gearing up for is they're gearing up for like minority LGBT based funding, for television shows and media. And they're going to clarify that as, look, we're giving black people money, to do movies and do their own media and television. But
Oh, but they're
you're
gonna
going
want
to
to
start
control the
see,
narrative.
yeah, you're going to see a whole, yeah, they're going to control the narrative. You're going to see a whole lot more shows with, homosexuality and
Yeah.
we just say untraditional relationships.
Right,
Anything that's
right.
counterproductive to the black family is what they want to see on TV. But the internet is changing all of that because the majority of black people still want to see positive images of black people. A
Yes.
lot of black people are not really down with untraditional lifestyle still, but they're making it seem like it's the thing to do, especially through the music and through hip hop.
Right. Yeah. No, that's interesting. Let me ask you this. Um, in your own personal films and stuff like that, because take us to your newest project. What is it about? Kind of talk to us about that.
Okay, so my new project is called Foodies. It's an episodic show. It's based on karma, basically. So what happens is the protagonist or the main characters that do something that's um, low vibration or negative against another character, basically, and the audience is going to see their karma, and it comes through somewhat of a horror based show. I won't call it horror, but it's like dark comedy, sort of say. So, like first, for example, in the first episode, the theme of the episode is adultery, right? And the main character is cheating on his wife with his wife's sister. Well, we're gonna get to see that karma coming to that character with a entertainment twist in the end. And when I write a lot of my scripts, man, they do have somewhat of a red pill, what they call it, little red pill truths in them. You just got to, watch out for them and look out for them. But if you a red pill guy, you will see them. You will see them. So yeah, man, that's the first episode is called Guess. You can see the trailer. It's in the description.
Now, let's talk about a little bit about some of the downsides. I mean, like trying to get an audience for
Hmm.
those people who might want to get into business. What's the hardest part? Because you have to shoot the film, get the
Hmm.
cast. Let's talk about that kind of. A lot of people probably never knew how the process works. How does the process even work? Shooting a short film or shooting an episodic series.
Well, it's two different processes. If you're like going through like the traditional Hollywood, it's a totally different process than you would do independently. But this is one of the best times ever to be an independent filmmaker, man, because you can start building your audience base like I'm doing right now as you're shooting the project. So by the time you finish that project, you'll have an audience sitting there ready to, that's excited to see what you just filmed and what you just produced. And now you can almost target the audience because you've been showing them clips here and there and all these type of behind the scenes, they already know what they're looking at. So basically what I'm saying is the audience has been kind of filtered for you to a degree to where you have people that like horror. You know what I'm saying? You got people that like drama. You got people that like romance. Instead of you spending all this money in Hollywood on marketing, you spending hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars on marketing to everybody that doesn't even like horror movies.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. So somebody said, indigenous O'Shea look like he used to play the bass for
You
Peebo
go Bryson.
Bryson.
Where that come from?
That
You got some.
nigga took it back, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Let's talk about this, right? I know this is the manosphere, but one thing I gotta, we're not trying to put no, fuck it, we're gonna put these niggas down today.
Okay.
Black women, man, why are they? And I'm
Yeah.
saying, brothers are funny, man. We got comedy, niggas
Right, right,
got
right, right.
jokes. Black women really not funny like that, man. I'm sorry they not. But
You're
how
right.
are black women beating brothers who got, some of the best filmmakers are black men, especially with
Right,
black
right.
movies.
Mm-hmm.
How are they beating us to the punch when it comes to black female produced films? You have TV shows top to
Right.
bottom. How are they beating us in that?
Well, because the dominant society doesn't mind funding a woman more than they, funding a man. Because if they fund a
Mm-hmm.
man, he might get conscious all of a sudden. He might try to help his community. He might try to put something positive. He might try to, do some Bill Cosby type of television shows. When 9 times out of 10, not to harp on the sisters, but they really, more of an individual, selfish to a certain degree. They just want to get the bag. Whereas a man, if you're a real man, you kind of feel, for your community. You want to help your community by putting out positive images, like the way Bill Cosby did.
Right.
That's why they had such a problem with Bill Cosby because of that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
What can we do to get more brothers involved with, some of the brothers that are black independent filmmakers that want to create content for black men? Let me ask you this as a brother that is now doing it. Do you think there is a market that we can now start to have, content specifically like black men, not like, like Tariq Nasheed has like the hidden colors,
Right, right,
but
right.
let's say if you start, producing stuff like more allegories for black male, African American male audiences, do you think that we are able to do that specifically for brothers here, maybe brothers in Britain, brothers in Africa? Do you think there's a big enough market for us to produce that kind of stuff for brothers?
Man, I think it's a huge market, O'Shea. I truly believe in my heart that it's a huge market. Like you say, you got brothers in London, you got brothers in Africa, you got brothers in Brazil, all kind of going through the same situations. So you could definitely produce a television show, a documentary, or a movie specifically targeting them, and you'll make millions overnight, man. I like I say right now, brothers are going to support. They're going to support what they believe in, especially if you put it out here in a quality production. They're going to support.
No, go ahead, man. Hold on a second. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. I had to go outside real quick.
Oh no, you good, man. No, I was just explaining that. Yeah, brothers are definitely going to support, man. There's always an audience or a market for somebody that is going through a few things in life, man. And brothers have been pretty much unrepresented a lot in traditional Hollywood movies. Either we kicking down doors, selling kilos of dope, pimps. You know what I mean? I think brothers are really ready to see some good brothers now. I mean, it's all entertainment at the end of the day. You got to entertain your audience, but you know, it's one thing to entertain the audience, and it's another thing to be, making a slave movie when the brothers getting their ass whipped all the time. We know most brothers ain't gonna stand for getting slapped up and spit on and shit, but that's all Hollywood kind of show. When I saw The Butler and 12 Years a Slave, I got upset. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, I wouldn't have stood for that type of bullshit. You know what I mean? And most brothers are not going to stand for that, and they know that. So that's why they're going to show you an image of a black man always getting his ass whooped, an image of a black man with a wig on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or a black man that's selling dope to his communities and doing whatever he got to do. They always have these stereotypes, and then if you ever go into a situation where you're like the only black guy in the room, you ever notice that people hit you with the stereotypes almost automatically? Can you
Yeah.
rap? Can you play basketball? It's a reason behind that. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But
Mm-hmm.
we have no real stereotypes for white guys to a certain degree. You
Right.
know? So when we see them, they free and clear to make an impression on you without any stereotypes. But when we come in the room, rap, you play basketball, how many baby mamas you got, you know, it's a reason behind that. We don't control our own image.
Right.
When a lot of brothers are doing what they're supposed to be doing out here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, that's true. That's definitely real,
You
man.
know?
Um, what I want to know is, I mean, what are your plans? I mean, as far as because I'm just now starting to meet some of the black male content creators that are out here that shoot,
Mhm.
video, because it's an expensive process, right? Because let's talk about some of the camera gear that you have, because it's easy to set up a YouTube channel and basically get a microphone and all that shit. But talk to me about what you need to do, man, to produce this kind of stuff at the quality you do it.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, the game has definitely changed when it comes to cameras. So that was one of the most important things. It's not the important thing. The most important thing is the content. All day, every day. And if you're making a movie, the most important thing would be, your script, your screenplay. But now because the technology is, so fast now, I have this camera right here. I don't know if you can see it. This is the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera. I could put this camera, the imagery of this camera. I paid $600 for this camera. I think the lens was like maybe 400 or 500. I
Okay.
could put the image of a $40,000 camera right up beside this $600 camera, O'Shea, and you
Right.
could barely tell the difference. But the quality is still there because right about now, it's not about the camera; it's about what format the camera shoots in. So this camera shoots in Apple ProRes and RAW. That's what you're looking for as a content producer. This might be a little overkill for like maybe a YouTube, but if you're doing a music video or a professional production, This is one of the top-notch cameras. Now, this is the original version. The new version is the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera, 4K camera. That's
Yeah,
an
I seen
even
that
better
one.
camera. Yeah, that's an even better camera. They're comparing that camera to $40,000, $50,000 camera. You don't have to do all that anymore. Right now, if you have a $50,000 budget, you don't have to go out and get a $50,000 camera. You can get this camera and be, rig it up to what, because this is not really rigged. I just got this on the tripod right now.
Okay.
And rig it up, man, and it's going to be really professional. That is a great camera. It's a lot of good cameras out here. The Sony A7S, what
Right.
else? You have whoever you shoot with the King Gunner channel, that's an excellent camera. So things have changed. I think I heard an interview with Ice Cube saying that, the script has to be together for when you go to Hollywood, and ask for money. They got other scripts, so your script got to really be together, and that's very true. But at this point in time, right now, brothers, you got Nollywood over there, and we all know the type of quality that Nollywood started off with maybe 10 years ago.
Right.
Now Nollywood is like what, the second
Yeah, the
import
third.
export business in
Yeah.
Nigeria right now. It's a
Yes.
$1 billion industry.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, O'Shea, but did you know that the Nigerian stars, actors and actresses make more money on average than the Black Hollywood actors do?
I wouldn't be surprised, man. I know they recording artists do.
Yeah,
They rappers be making like $100,000 on the show, man.
that's what I'm saying.
Some of them, yeah.
Yeah, so they didn't start off with $50,000 cameras. They just was able to build that industry, and as Black filmmakers, we got to kind of rebuild that industry that we had before.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
That's definitely true.
yeah, man. I'm telling you, with a laptop, with a MacBook Pro, and $1,000 camera, you can make a movie that rivals. And I'm not saying you have stunts and all this, going on. You're not gonna be able to get Will Smith in your movie, nothing like that. But you can have a movie that rivals a very professional and quality movie that you would see in movie theaters, hands down, no problem. If you know what you're doing.
Hmm. What are some of the things that you plan on doing in the next 5 years? Go ahead and talk to me about what we can expect from you.
Next 5 years, O'Shea, I would like to have at least 3 movies out, 2 television shows, and I want to focus on having an app on, the app stores like a Roku or something. That way we can control our own distribution, because Nollywood, Nigeria, has their own app right now. I
Okay.
don't know why African Americans, I don't know why we're not doing the same thing, because Netflix is great, it's beautiful, but I know for a fact that Black people want to see their own, little distribution channel on there too, because you got a lot of good Black movies out here. You got a lot of good Black filmmakers out here who are just not being seen. They put up a YouTube and don't really make, any money like they should. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of talent out here in the industry. In Atlanta, in Detroit, there's some filmmakers in North Carolina, Chicago, California, and we need our own industry. You know what I'm saying? Hollywood has an industry. Nollywood has industry. Bollywood has
Right.
industry.
Right.
African Americans need their own industry where we can tell our own stories without have
Yes.
to worry about any funding from
Right.
other races of people.
Hold on. Let's stop
Okay?
right there. African American people need to have their own money. Let's make it more specific.
Right.
Black African American men,
There you
we
go.
need our own industry,
Right.
tell our own story. And guys, listen, this is why we gotta support our brothers. Like, let me go ahead and put this thing up here, right? I try to bring brothers together all the time. Our brother here from Malice Films. Black men, if we don't support our own kind of stuff, and I thank you guys for supporting the negromanosphere.com, the website. I was talking to my brother a little bit earlier about some of the stuff we got planned. You guys have done so much for me that we're able to bring other brothers into the movement, into the industry. But we got to start to show that, number one, we don't need white people's money.
Mm-hmm.
That's number one. We shouldn't have to go to Hollywood to produce a film. I'm not like, shout out to I got the hookup. They put that movie up, put it on Amazon or whatever.
Yeah.
Brothers don't have to do that, okay? That's number one. And number two, it don't cost a lot to support our Black men, okay? Because we need to be able to have our own award shows, our own movie awards, our own Black male movie studios. This is why we ask our people to support us, because if you don't support, you're going to be the same people talking about, oh man, I can't believe that they got us out here looking like homosexuals. They got us out here with wigs on.
Right,
Well, brother,
right.
listen, you got to support the same thing. That's why I made my Dr. Action comic. Now, it's ghetto. I don't know if you read it before.
Yeah, you know I love that comic, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm on the third issue right now, Doctor Action, because I know brothers wanted their own comic, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're slowly building up that, but that's why we talk to brothers. Connect with one another, support your brothers is doing these things, because why? When you build it, people will come, they'll support. Like look at Nollywood. I mean, like not Nollywood, and I will say like even this. I don't even think for the films I see in Nollywood, not really that good, right? But don't matter.
Right.
Don't matter what I think.
Mm-hmm.
They got a base, right?
Yeah, they got a
And
base.
I can tell you can never go nowhere in Africa that Nollywood is not killing shit.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere you go in Africa, if one of the
Mm-hmm.
artists show up to Uganda, South Africa, they sell the fuck out. They are kings on the continent, man.
Right.
You can't fuck with them. They are
Mm-hmm.
those niggas. So this is why we telling black men, man, you guys got to start to support and start to try to, and it's a two-way situation. As content creators, we have the job of figuring out what you brothers want because we just can't ask you to support and it
Mm-hmm.
should be trash.
Right. Right. Right.
We have to sit back and figure out what do the brothers want. What do they want this? They want that, and then we have to create the product or whatever it is, the service for you, brother, so that you can so it's good enough that you can support it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So let me ask you this about these black male movies and some of the things. Now I did see the cocaine stories. I saw a little bit of that. What was that about?
Oh, cool. Well, yeah, that movie right there was about a character named Leroy Jones. He loses his job, his girlfriend. He comes home, his girlfriend's cheating on him, and he has a cocaine addiction. And that cocaine addiction leads him into a whole underbelly of problems in the inner city. He hooks up with a prostitute, and it's like a dark comedy. Just think Friday, but cocaine instead of weed, right? So it's a
Okay.
dark comedy, man, and it's basically telling you, hey, stay off drugs. Because at that point in time, when I came out with that movie in 2007, 2008, Atlanta had this whole blanket of, white this, white that, cocaine this. You had Jeezy, you had all these rappers talking about cocaine. So cocaine was pretty heavy in the A at that time. And that movie was basically telling people, hey, man, stay off that dope. Do what you got to do, or you're going to end up like Leroy Jones out
Mm-hmm. How
here.
did was that your first film you ever produced? Like straight up,
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that was the first film I produced. We had a distribution deal on the table. Things didn't really work out, but it did really good in Atlanta, man. We were selling out. I think we were selling like 1,000 copies a day. I put them in gas stations. Like at that point in time, you still had DVD and CD stores, so they were selling all throughout Atlanta, Tennessee, South Carolina, North Carolina. Man, we sold quite a bit, a few copies. Man, people really loved that movie. It's like a little cult classic down here in Atlanta. Sometimes I'll be walking in stores and clubs. They be like, "Hey man, ain't you the dude that was in that movie?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, yeah, that was it was a while ago, but yeah." So yeah, that was
Well,
my first movie.
okay, and then the second one was what?
We did a television show. I think it was a 9 episode show called Atlanta Homicide. I was a producer and a writer on that. I did, I did the pilot show, the main show that they showed to the distributors and everything like that. So Atlanta Homicide was basically like a New York undercover to a certain degree. It was
Okay,
a detective show.
okay.
Yeah.
And then let me just ask you about the Blackmagic. Now the
Yeah.
Blackmagic, obviously that's for filmmakers. Would
Right.
you ever get the Blackmagic Pocket 4K?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I have mine on the way. I have mine on the way, man. They got that, and they got another camera called the Blackmagic Ursa camera. It's a little bigger, but right now, man, that's the most demanded camera. They're selling out. That's the most demanded camera in the industry right now, man, because it shoots to Netflix standard, and the Netflix has created this standard that most filmmakers want to shoot on.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily saying you're going to get on Netflix, but if you at least shoot to that standard, they'll take a look at it.
What kind of gimbal can you put on? Can you put I mean, like, how would you stabilize that? I mean, I'm pretty sure.
Well,
The,
yeah, they have like a little adapter for the gimbal. It's like a little plate that you put on it,
mm-hmm.
and it extends it because it's a big camera. It's not a pocket camera anymore. It's about this big. So with that plate that you can order, it's going to extend on that gimbal that you can kind of hold it up and everything like that. It's
Okay.
not too heavy of a camera, but after a while it might get a little heavy, so you might want to get a suit. But yeah, you can definitely do your thing on that, man. And that's another thing. Like we've done shots that you would have thought that we had a $10,000 crane on, when it
Mm-hmm.
really was me getting in the back of a truck, opening the back with my gimbal and my Blackmagic camera, and they're driving in front of the car. That shot in Hollywood would cost like $30,000 to do, right? Because you got to
Okay.
rent a truck. You got rid of crane. You got the cameraman in the back. It's really overkill. It's really overkill. What they're doing right now in most Hollywood productions is, they're almost overfunding it so they can make money off the actual production, not the actual distribution of the movie. So what you see
Oh,
on traditional movies now is really overkill. When I see these movies, I be like, man, you don't need all that. This camera right here was shot. I think Wolverine, that new Wolverine movie with this. They did all types of Hollywood movies with it because they crashed these cameras. This is like a B camera. So what that means is instead of them crashing a $30,000, $40,000 camera, they'll crash this camera right here.
when you
And
say crash, what do you mean by that?
like a stunt. Like they'll put this camera in the car in the window, and they'll run that car into the back of a truck like an accident. And they'll stream the footage to, a hard drive. So instead of them crashing, like to get that shot, they would crash a $40,000 camera. They're gonna just crash this camera right here because it's cheap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it's really about the format that you shoot in now. It's not about the camera; it's about the format. You want to shoot in RAW, or Apple ProRes. That's gonna give you that high quality. And this little bad boy shoots in that. That's what you see in most Hollywood movies is a RAW format where they color it after it. So that's a powerful little camera right there, man. Powerful little camera.
Okay. All right. Yeah, man. For $600. All right. And then
Yeah.
how long was you waiting for the Blackmagic? I know that's like a 2 month delay, but how long have you been waiting for that one for?
Oh man, it's I think it should come in maybe like next 2-3 weeks.
Okay.
They get in, they get right back out, man. You got like maybe a day. You got about 24 hours to get them on I think it's called a Dora. It's like a Dora or one of them little camera companies that you order your cameras from, man.
Okay.
Yeah, so
All right.
they like Jordans right now. You know what I'm saying? You know how
Yeah.
Jordans,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
exactly what they are. But this is gonna make you money
Right.
because if you got this camera, I'm telling you, man, if you know what you're doing, you can make it look like really, really high quality. And these are things that we need to know as independent filmmakers because you got independent filmmakers now. I was overhearing one producer say that he needed at least like $175,000 to do a short film. I'm like, bro, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, why would you spend that type of money on a short film? That's that's enough budget for a whole entire movie. You know what I'm saying? You want to flip that 175 to 300, 400,000.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna chop that up in half and let that, half of it be for marketing and half of it, be for the actual production.
No, I feel you, man. So,
Yeah.
is there anything else, bro, like that you need to say, you wanted to talk about that we didn't reach and you wanted to discuss?
Man, I just want to say this real quick in closing, man, that it is frustrating being out here and being a man and having your stuff together. And then when you go out there to look for a wife, that is very difficult to find a wife that's really there to support you and what you have to do out here. It's easy to find a woman that want to get married, but it's hard to find a wife that's, what I'm saying, a woman that's willing to be a good wife and a good counterpart for doing what you want to do. And the reason behind that is this really a lot of that not only is the family structure that she grew up in, O'Shea, but a lot of it is what they watch as they're growing up. You know what I'm saying? If you look at the movies that we grew up in, we saw Love and Basketball, we saw The Wood, we saw, some good, Best Man's Wedding. We saw some good positive imagery of, black men and women being married and being in relationships, soul food. But the new generation, they can't identify with that because they grew up on Real Housewives of Atlanta, Love and Hip Hop. You see what I'm saying? All broken relationships. So it's very important for black men to control that narrative of what these women and what these children see, so that when our boys come up, they'll have somebody to select as a wife. Because right now, if you see all the purple, green, yellow, hair, all the tattoos, we didn't grow up like that with women like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We grew up with women like Aaliyah and stuff like that. Sanaa
Mm-hmm.
Lathan. What was that change? What went from the Sanaa Lathan, the Nia Longs, the Aaliyahs to Cardi B, the Stallion, City Girls, and light skinned Keisha? What happened in that
Mm-hmm.
gap right there? Is what they was watching on television in them formative years growing up,
Mm-hmm.
O'Shea. You know what I'm saying? That's
Mm-hmm.
that's what happened. That's that big generation of gap of women of why they act the way they act nowadays. Is because we don't control for the most part. Now the father is plays a huge role. Don't get me wrong, but I'm saying what's going to assist that father is we sit his daughter down and she can see some positive imagery. She needs to see a fly woman with her shit together with a black man. You know what I'm saying? Not no white dude, not no slave movie where she getting all this other shit going on, getting her ass whooped by some white guy and the black man ain't doing nothing. Not the butler where you see, you know, this guy being a butler for some. The butler was all about the president, so how he was, like how you gonna make a movie about a black man being a butler, the alpha male of all races of men being a damn butler? You got $100 million budget on 12 Years a Slave and the butler because they want to see us in that imagery. We have to control our own image. Not only do we have to control our own image, we got to filter out the BS that our women and children see, or
Right.
it's going to get worse and worse and worse. Because
Yeah.
right now, it's bad right now. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
very bad. It's very bad.
Yeah.
So, man, I do thank you. And guys, like I was telling guys, we need more black male podcasts. We need more black
Right.
male sites. We are really the black manosphere and black men in general. It's a very underserved market. You know what I mean? So we were just talking about that today, man. Like, there's so much room and opportunity for black male content creators to come into the space and actually help us. There's really not a lot of competition. Or we need more brothers doing documentaries. We need more brothers like our brother here, Aaron, and Malice Films. We need more brothers out there that have a heart for black men and want to produce these things. A lot of people are like, man, I didn't even know they had brothers that was producing black men real pill content for stuff like that. So we need more black men doing these things, and we're trying to bring black men through through social media to connecting and stuff like that, man. So the brother, he been all over the world, Brazil, DR. He got a group. Tell him about your group, man. No, I know it's not about this, but you also have a Facebook group. Talk to him about that.
Man, I have a Facebook group that you guys can join. It's called Black Men Travels, man. We talk about all type of subjects and post all type of videos. There's a lot of brothers in there with their own YouTube channel, so definitely check that channel out, man. You can see some of my content as well on there from my travels in Dominican Republic and Brazil. So there'll be some good content there, man. I love traveling. That's my second passion is getting the hell on. You know what I mean?
Right.
So.
Right. So yeah, man, it's a very popping group, man. My boy Edie Cole in there all the time.
Oh yeah, he be stunning.
Yeah, he be in there acting a fool, man.
I set him up.
That group.
I set him up over there in DR too, man. Hopefully he had a good little time, man. I told him, a few spots. Gave him a few suggestions. O'Shea, you know how we get down. You know how we roll, brother. So yeah, good little look, man.
All right, brother. Well, thanks for coming on, man. Again, guys, I have like another third one tonight, but a little bit later. Oh, thanks again. Go ahead.
Man. Hey, guys, subscribe to the YouTube channel, man. It's in the description, man.
Yeah, all the stuff's in the description. I'm sorry about that. Subscribe to Aaron and all of that's there. See you guys tonight. Don't forget to follow my man on Instagram, IG @Malice Films. Peace out, brother. See you guys a little bit later.
All right, fellas.